Don't really like it when a car goes right, left, right, left.
It hasn't looked like he's got enough to make a move anywhere.
Well, as I said before, it's a very difficult track to pass on, and Gary Baxter is applying the classic manoeuvre, and that is, once you're into the corner and you know the guy's not going to make a move, right in the middle of the corner, watch it here, slows right down, bang, accelerates away, and just gets that little break, which makes it harder for the guy behind to even think about a move at the next corner.
It's just turn 11. Oh, we're in the gap. We're on. No, quite. Teasing again.
Right there, what you see is two guys who have been in this category for a long time, have raced against each other many times before. Let's be honest, if that was for 18th or 19th, those guys would have each other off in the grass, but Baxter and Elsgood, classy racing.
But Pither's got the run on Elsgood. He'll go the outside at turn 1, which if he can hang there is good, because it becomes the inside for 2, but he can't get it done.
That's given Baxter the breather that he needs. Elsgood's attention now turns to Pither behind him, who has to remain mindful that he's got Cedars, championship leader, who wants to make another position.
There's been a lot of looking up the inside, a lot of having a see and a sniff, but all of that's pretty irrelevant, really. You need to summarise where you're going to do the move and then launch it, because you're really telegraphing what you're going to do.
Well, that in some part is true. Being decisive about any passing manoeuvre is the critical thing. You can't say yes, no, yes, no. It will end in tears.
Speaking of tears, Ben Cavich, Yokohama replay down the inside on Greg Willis. Where's this going? Oh, I can see now. Yep. Ben Cavich goes around. No one else gets involved. Just a small touch. He thought he was clear. He wasn't, and around goes the Falcon. We're on board with Chris Pither, the Kiwi, sits in 5th. We are gaining rapidly on the reigning champ, Jack Elsgood, but he's not keen to try this move at turn 1, but Elsgood makes a mistake.
Well, when you got the pressure from someone like Pither, you're bound to make a mistake or two, but interestingly, Pither made the same mistake. But look at this, it's left, it's right, and to hear a brake lock up. Oh. Cedars is just biding his time. His chance will come. Here's his chance now.
He's in the gap. His time is now. His position is as well. And Pither is off the road and has cost himself 3 spots. And that goes back to what we were talking about before the break. He kept having little looks. He kept having a little bit of a sniff. Wasn't getting the job done, and he's been caught.
And the moment you start focusing too much on the guy in front, forgetting about the guy behind you.
Gary McDonald, the second of the Icebreak Coffee Commodores.
Stay in there, Carsto.
No, you knew that was coming, though. That's standard Ute fare. Pass guy, push guy on grass, scamper away.
And here's a replay. We look at Cedars doing the switchback, which is a classic move. Pither, all too late, has gone, oh no! Tried to squeeze over. Good move, Cedars. Yep. Pither, what were you doing, brother?
Caught napping. Cedars down the gap. A few dings in the door, but that's all good. This is a great job. Reece McNally, the youngster who's the younger brother of Mark McNally, and also Glenn that we've seen in the Ute racing in the last couple of years. First weekend in at Adelaide, car got written off, new car, on the money, and Kim Jane, the Extreme Clutches in car, has had, well, I'm trying to put it politely.
I've got an extremely bad weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say a shocker, but anyway, Steve Hodges has got some dramas. The Isri Truck Seats Commodore is in big problem. That's over around at turn 8, and that looks pretty terminal to me too.
At least he's trying to find a safe spot to stop so this race can continue under green conditions, and green it is. Look at Cedars drifting through turn 2. McNally, what a standout. He's doing a fantastic job, as is Carson in 8th position, and Charlie O'Brien, another newcomer, in 10th. And for those guys to be running in the top 10 in this level of racing is brilliant.
Yeah, and McNally's only ever been here in a Formula 4. They stopped off at Wakefield Park for a very quick test to shake this new car down. He has done a really, really good job. David Cedars, remember though, it's only his second run in the Ute as well. We've seen him previously in the Fujitsu V8 Supercar Series, drove at the Enduros last year as a wildcard entry at Phillip Island and Bathurst, and has had to come to grips with the way that things are played in Ute racing, which is a little different from everywhere else.
Very different indeed. Gary Carson, who last year battled for Rookie of the Year, he knows what it's all about, and Pither right behind him better realise, maybe only in his second year, Gary Carson, but have you seen the size of the guy? It's football, mate. He'll knock you down in an instant.
And that's your old team too, Wollongong Performance Racing from back in your Fujitsu days.
My old car too.
He's looking after it.
As he should.
He's got McDonald in front, Pither behind. and only a lap left to go in race 3 of the weekend. Grant Johnson's been the man. We've barely seen him in that black Commodore. He has marched away out in front.
Good thing he hasn't got any sponsors in the respect that he's been so far in front. He hasn't commanded much TV, but if that's not a signal to sponsors to get on board that he has smashed the opposition this weekend, I wouldn't know what else to say to them.
He's already gone through the S's. Fisher was second. Right, here's the gap. Here's where he is. He's at turn 3. No one within QE and 1 lap left to go.
Well, we've talked all 3 races about how competitive, how close this is. We know he's won the championship before, but to dominate, to smash the opposition like he's doing right now shows that someone needs to get on board and sponsor this guy.
He's on his way around through the sweep up for the final time, and he's going to have a bit of fun with it as well.
Look at that. He's loose. He's loving it. There's a guy who's comfortable in his surrounds. Again, as I mentioned in the other race, that's Craig Lowndes style.
Andrew Fisher, second. Very, very consistent in the Jesus Racing Falcon. Very solid start to his championship chase. We ride on board with the New South Welshman.
Very composed, very calm.
That was very calm and controlled. Gary Baxter,
who withstood the pressure, a lot of pressure from Jack Earlsgood early, has done a brilliant job. He didn't block, he didn't drive defensively, and at the moment...
Reece McNally is 5th. Well, hang on a sec. Was 5th. He's now 6th. David Smith.
Well, last lap.
Mucked that up.
He'll learn from that. He'll learn from that. You need to close the door and defend on the last lap of a race, but to finish 6th is a great job for his first outing at Winton in the Ute.
But the man in black, Grant Johnson, he won race 1. He did well enough in race 2 to get up to the front, and he has absolutely blitzed them. He takes race 3, and that will clinch the round win for the Western Australian. Andrew Fisher, great job. Very, very solid drive. But Grant Johnson, white helmet, black car, needs some colours and some names on it.
And Gary Carson, in the end, did hold out Chris Pither for 8th position in the Select TV Falcon. I just can't talk highly enough of these new guys to be racing at this end.
Now, while Johnson was doing the winning, the Yokohama replay shows that Ben Cavich was giving Craig Donaldson the spinning.
Let's be honest, that's ridiculous. I mean, these guys are racing for 25th position. They've had a bad enough weekend, and Cavich did not want to get out of it, and now Dontas, in frustration, has almost looped it again.
He's in a spin, doesn't quite know which way to point. The end of the race. Race 3 results. Reece McNally 6th from Gary McDonald. Chris Pither ended up 9th. Charlie O'Brien scores 1 for the veterans, 10th again, and very, very solid on debut. Kim Jane 11th, Jeremy Gray in 13th. Charlie Kovac 16th, and Rick Gill and Jason Gomersall rounding up the top 20. But this man, untouchable. Should be a big thumbs up to Grant Johnson. Great job all weekend. He stands on top of the podium. Fisher and Baxter will join him. Good solid points haul for Elsgood and Cedars. But pole and 2 race wins mean Johnson is the man.